If the school board took back Volunteers Park and sold it to a developer, it's 28 acres actually, minus the 3/4 of an acre occupied by the R&R and Rockaway ambulance squad, they could build about 240 homes there, which produce a lot more school children. So keeping that a park is to our advantage, and them renting the building from us is to their advantage. I tried a few years ago to swap. Instead of keep paying each other $1 a year, why don't they give us Volunteers Park where we can keep it a park forever with no threat of ever having it developed, and give them the building as a trade, 1-for-1. And then the insurance gets less complicated, and trying to maintain and occupy a building that you don't own is more difficult than if you really did own it.
And with regard to the solid waste pickup, the Board of Education would take on considerably higher costs if they were to have to hire a private hauler to come and remove trash from all of their school buildings and facilities. We're not looking to pass along any labor costs. We didn't ask Mr. Schneider to break that down and then in turn pass that along to the Board of Education. This is strictly the cost of disposal of what's collected from those various Board of Education facilities.
By the way, for the record, I object to that, because we do use school board facilities for other things like the fireworks, and some of our organizations do use the school buildings for different things. I think that's nitpicking. I really wish you would withdraw that and let us go on trading benefits with the school board. What benefits them we do, what benefits us they do.
There's plenty that we do that we don't even
we
don't even bill for.
I know we do.
Well, last year when there was let's say a problem in one of our middle schools, at no cost to the Board of Education, we added a full-time police officer. One of the schools, we moved some people around, and we were able to add a police officer at no cost at all to the Board of Education until we could come up with a financial long-term solution at the end of the school year last year. We never asked for $1 for that. There was a need. Okay. As we said already, there's also other odd services, like we even use our furriest town hall employee to chase the geese away from the parks at the school, to keep the geese poop off of the. We're talking about poop a lot in tonight's meeting for some reason, but to chase away the geese, and at no cost at all. There are lots of shared services that go on behalf of the township as well. We're just asking for a little help with this.
No.
And then the last piece, to answer the third part of Mr. Karifi's inquiry, is with regard to the PBA contract. I came in at the very tail end of that contract. It was right before the council ratified it. I can tell you that the two main parts, as it was explained to me by my predecessor, were the percentage increases, which this year falls at 2%. Next year, if my memory serves me correct, it's 1.5 for half the year and 3.25 for the second half of the year. Then the following year, it goes up to 1.75 and then 3.5, give or take, for the second half of the year. The give back had to do with tech credits and education credits. Everything prior to that, however,
but you can't get back.
That's fine. I want to sit here and listen.
Everything prior to those major negotiated pieces, which again was negotiated by my predecessor under this administration, and ratified by this council.
That was my question.
Everything prior to that had been negotiated by prior administrations. You're a former police officer, you understand the fact that these things don't expire at the end of a contract. What's negotiated prior continues, and then whatever's negotiated new appears in the new version of the collective bargaining agreement.
This contract, and that's part of the reason why you said you have to raise taxes. That's all I'm saying.
The police salaries is a part of why we're raising taxes. That is correct.
Under this administration.
Okay, you gotta sit down.
That's correct.
Started in November.
All right, see no one else come forward, I entertain a motion to close the.
Motion.
Whoop.
No. Go ahead, Mr. Densmore. You can come on up.
Did you bring those letters?
Oh, he received his letter.
He did? Okay.
Eric Densmore, 95 Marrow Road. I just wanted the council, primarily the officials in town hall, to realize there's an awful lot of fraud out there. And on 3 different occasions now over the last month, I've received phone calls. I know they're not township officials, but people claiming to be township officials telling me that I'm behind on my water bill and that if I don't come up with, it's a large sum of money, like $500, $600, whatever, that my water is going to be shut off. Now, there are several problems with this. One, I'm quite certain your officials do not make collection phone calls like that. Number 2, I'm a renter in Knoll Gardens, and the landlord pays the water anyway. So, my concern is, though, I know this, and I try to actually play along to see if I can get them to give me an address where I could then tell the authorities. My concern is that all it takes is for one person to fall for this. And they're telling me that I need to go out, call a specific number back, and give them a prepaid Visa card over the phone. And, you know, they may call 10 people, and if they get one person to do it, they've
That's all
done
they need,
what
yeah.
they need to do. And I think the town needs to be aware that these phone calls are out there.
First off, you shouldn't wait for a council meeting to bring this up. You should have let us know right away when this happened. Did you get the phone number, the caller
The
ID?
phone
Did they get the
numbers-
phone
yeah,
numbers?
and when you call the phone number back, it goes to a dead number.
Okay, yeah, they're playing that game.
I got a phone call today, actually.
On your mobile?
On my
Okay.
mobile, yeah.
Okay. Would you please come to the police department, fill out a formal complaint?
Okay.
Okay?
The
That would
number
be
they
helpful.
told you to call with when you get the charge card or whatever you're supposed to use, do you have that number?
It was like an 877 number. I have it at home when I wrote it down on my notes. I don't have it here.
Just so you know, these types of scams have been going on for quite some time. There's also other scams where they're trying to get money from people. A lot of them are even coming from other countries.
Sure,
They're
yeah.
accessing phone numbers from here. So obviously, you know it's not true, but like the mayor said, I would go down to the police department, file a complaint so they can try to follow up on these.
Yeah. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of it, that's all.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you.
Okay, see no one else come forward, entertain a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Ms. Peterson. Roll call. Mr. DePiero.
Yes.
Ms. Grignani.
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy.
Yes.
Ms. Peterson.
Yes.
Mr. Carriffy.
Yes.
Floor is closed.
Okay, status of adopted ordinances. Ordinance 2019-01, adopted October 30th, 2018. Mayoral action November 1st, 2018. Effective date November 21st, 2018.
Council President, I'm sorry, there's a typo there. It's we meant to say 2019, so I do apologize for that. So it's
I think all of those dates are incorrect.
yes,
So we
correct.
need
I
to
don't know what's
revise those.
yeah. Oh, it's only
Well,
because
like-
it was introduced and because it was just inter.
It
I'll
was
fix
introduced
it.
in January.
Can't be adopted October 30th.
It was introduced. It was introduced in January, correct? And then it was
Adopted
adopted.
should be 18.
Yes,
Yes.
I will fix those
Should
dates
be
for the
18.
record at the
Okay,
next
yeah,
meeting.
All right, great. Thank you. Okay, Mr. DePiero?
May I for a moment, Mr. Council President, listening to everyone here tonight and to you and to the other council members, I will consider and entertain the withdrawal of asking the Board of Education to pay for the tipping fees for the sanitation. If it's done by vote here by the council, just understand that would then raise the taxes to approximately 3% from the 2.7, I think you had, right?
2.67, I think.
Yeah.
That's the anticipated revenue, so you'd be going, if that was removed from the budget as an anticipated revenue, it would then increase the percentage increase by whatever the calculation is.
So instead of it being 2.68, it's going to be plus 3%?
It will be 2.67. Go up
We
to
can
about-
have Ann run the number for you real quick. She just has to enter into the spreadsheet. If, Council President, if you want to move on to
Okay.
introduction of
Mr.
ordinance while
DePiero,
she
if you
does
would.
the
Sure.
calculation.
Ordinance for introduction, ordinance 2019:06, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, Morris County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing various provisions of the Code of Parsippany-Troy Hills related to fees. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills held on March 5th, 2019, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on March 19th, 2019, another error, at 7 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon thereafter as the matter may be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with the notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Ms. Peterson. Roll call. Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
I'm looking at the fee adjustment. Yes.
Ms. McCarthy?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, non-consent agenda?
R 2019-070, appropriation transfer. Motion to approve the resolution.
Motion.
Second.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so motion made by Ms. McCarthy, seconded by Ms. Peterson. Roll call. Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, consent agenda, any questions, concerns? Okay, Mrs. McCarthy?
C, approval of payroll and bills list. CFO Ann Cucci recommends authorization for payment. Authorization of payment, 3/4/19, regular miscellaneous payroll estimated at $1,600,000. Payment of bills and vouchers, 2018 through 2008 through February 28, 2019, $1,458,446.87. Motion to approve the authorization for payment.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. McCarthy, seconded by Ms. Peterson. Roll call. Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Through you, Council President, that would bring it up to about 2.95, so the
Okay, I
Mayor,
just
was
have a
about
quick question. I was doing some math in my head. When we reduced the budget by the $40,000, it went from 2.78 down to 2.67, so it dropped 0.11. Okay? Even if we were to double that, we're adding $74,000 back in? Okay? So even if we were to double the 40, which would make it 80, you would think it would go up 0.22, right? It went down 0.11. Why is it going to go up
But hold on,
so much?
did you redo that? Did you do the other cuts in there as well, Ann?
I did.
So when you take the totality of what was modified tonight, where does that take it?
2.86, I guess it
2.86?
is. Yeah.
So where's it now? 2.86? So it's going up to 2.86?
It's just not the 75, it's the,
It's more than his.
it's the,
Mayor, in your.
the
your
860, it's the
estimation-
862, the 40, and then adding back in the 74. Yeah, so.
Mayor,
Yes.
Ran that already.
we do a lot for the school board and they do a lot for us. I don't know if it's a break even or not. Do you have any feeling for, is it an equal or fairly even give and take, do you think? Do we want to?
I don't know if we've done an assessment with that. We were in a bind, and the fees were going up on tipping, and we needed help. I didn't think it was such a hard thing to ask for help, considering that when they need help, we jump in there without even thinking about it.
Let me ask Ann a different question then. The transfer station,
Yes,
we get a host fee still, right?
yes, we do.
And we get a reduction in the tipping fee from other towns.
Okay, but our fees have gone very, very high this year.
Well, my question is, are we still getting the host fee and the reduced tipping fee?
Well, the host fee we get.
Well, we also had a 5% reduction in tipping fee because we're the host community.
Yeah, but
That
the
was an
tip,
agreement we made when we allowed them to put the transfer station.
I
in
realize that,
Parsippany.
but we went out and we had to go out to bid. It's really to haul everything. It has to do with recycling and everything that we had to go back out to bid, and the prices are going astronomically up. So we spoke to the Board of Ed, if I'm not mistaken, Keith, and they understood the fact that our costs are going so far up.
I would suggest, Mayor, that someone look into the original agreement with the transfer station. We not only had a host fee, but we also had a reduction in our tipping fee. And that had no time limit. We had that when we agreed to put the transfer station in Parsippany. We had two requirements. They provide access to 280, so the trucks didn't have to use
Right.
Parsippany roads, and that we have a host fee and a reduction in tipping fee forever, as long as the transfer station is there. So I would ask you to look into it and see if we're still getting both of those.
We can do that.
Go ahead,
John.
I'm sorry.
Before we adjourn, I was in Mr. Kazmak's office this afternoon, and Cucci was there, and I mentioned the hotel tax that was reduced by, it wasn't, the amount was 2.94 last year that we received in the hotel tax.
No, it was 2.5, and then it was 2.597, Ms. Granani, just to
Yes.
correct you.
Okay. Is there any way of, I mean, we're
Well-
adding money in, can we add more money in now?
Now here's the question.
Okay.
If it comes in short, what are you going to do? You're getting to such a close. Everybody's going so close to what we anticipated last year. This is an average 2.5 million to go to 2.597. If you come up short, where's that money coming from?
I'm just
I'm
asking
just
if it
saying,
was
and this
possible.
is the thing. I'm more actually just putting it out there for everyone that the closer you get to what you anticipated the prior year, the less that drops to the bottom line to replenish fund balance, and you risk having deficit expenditure.
Okay.
So I like to go with the average, which was 2.5 million. We happen to get lucky to get a
Last
little bit
year.
more this year, but in the past, it's about 2.5.
Okay, thank you.
So through you, Council President, there was an analysis done by my office after this discussion came up at the presentation of the budget back in February of the hard costs and the soft costs of the township and what we give back to the Board of Education. So if you extract the costs that we take on for security and the school resource officers, which amounts to about $373,000. You take that out, you run down sanitation pickup, miscellaneous asphalt and salt supplemented from our DPW to the Board of Education, salary, sanitation, and recycling pickup, labor costs, which we did break out but did not pass on to the school in our proposal, the use of the Border Collie by Parks and Forestry, landscaping materials such as mulch, which is about $30,000, and the tennis court maintenance. Our hard costs, absent the salaries of security and SROs, is about $137,000 that we contribute to the Board of Education in hard dollars. And then, of course, we have the lease that we have for their Board of Education building to the township for $1, and the use of recreation facilities.
The tennis court maintenance that we do, we have an agreement with the school board that if the schools are not using the tennis courts, the community can.
Correct. So there's a partnership there.
So we're maintaining that not just for the school board, but also for the community.
Correct. So, Ann, do you have the final percentage?
Oh, I'm sorry.
with all the adjustments?
Yeah, 2.85% if we take out the 74. Just straight 74, nothing else.
And that's with the cuts that were voted on earlier?
Correct.
And
It's
then the modification of not anticipating the 74,000 in revenue?
correct.
All right, we're still under 3. I will go along with that.
Okay, so nobody else has any other cuts? Good.
So, do we need to take a vote on that?
Yeah, a motion has to be made for that.
To put that back into the budget.
You're eliminating the anticipated revenue of $74,000 from the Board of Education for purposes of trash disposal?
No, I thought that was already, was that already taken out?
No,
No.
no, you would have to vote on that
We
to
have
make
to,
that
we have to
adjustment
vote on
now.
it.
Okay.
And if we do vote on that, then our reduction comes down to 2.8
8.5.
something?
From 2.67 to 2.85.
2.85 will be the actual increase in the municipal budget. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Ms. Grignani. Roll call, Mr. DePiero,
Yes.
Ms. Grignani,
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Carriffy.
Before I vote, I just want to say, we have reduced the budget almost 2%. It's tough. No, we don't want to raise taxes that much. I understand, we need to, and I don't want to reduce any services, which I don't think we have. We've continued our support of the Board of Education, so I vote yes.
Motion passes.
Executive session resolution. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231, permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas the Township Council is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the Township Council wishes to discuss litigation, affordable housing, and potential litigation, and whereas minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires confidentiality, the minutes can be made public. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills that the public be excluded from this meeting. Motion to adjourn into closed session.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Peterson, seconded by Mr. DePiero. Roll call, Mr. DePiero,
Yes.
Ms. Grignani,
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Carriffy.
Yes.
Okay, we're now going to adjourn to closed session. We do not anticipate any action being taken for the public. Thank you.
5 minutes.
Motion to reconvene.
Second.
Okay, motion to reconvene into into open session made by Ms. Peterson, seconded by Ms. Grignani. Roll call, Mr. DePiero,
Yes.
Ms. Grignani,
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson.
Yes.
We're back in open session. Need a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Peterson, seconded by Ms. Grignani. Roll call, Mr. DePiero.
No, I want to stay.
Yeah. Ms. Grignani. Yes. Ms. McCarthy.
Yes.
Ms. Peterson.
Yes.
Please bang the gavel. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Okay.